Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your pre-match build-up here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast. My name's Martin. I am your host, and my co-host today is somebody who I haven't spoke to for ages. Ash, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Does feel like it's been a while, actually. It's exciting to be back, another European night, and hopefully a better performance. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Would be very, very nice. I don't know, our manager, our new manager, I should say,
Mhm.
like he smiles too much, Ash.
Is it a bit unnerving for you?
It is. As somebody who looks that happy, you can't trust him.
Or maybe just a reflection of how excited he is to be there, and it could also be because you're comparing him to our previous manager, who I don't think smiled in the past 2 months. So that might be why it stands out a little bit more.
Yes. I mean, there's Spanky saying, not seen Ash in ages. Evening, folks. That's because Ash just ignores us for a period of time. And then she comes back and she ignores
Now
us.
that I think you'll find that I was all ready to come on one of the afternoon Rabbles, but Rangers were so selfish and hadn't yet appointed the manager, and we were all waiting for them to do it. So I was left on the subs bench, Spanky, but I'm back now.
Yes, you're back now. And just quickly before we get into the game, is Ash short for something or is it just Ash?
Do you know, I just read a bit of that and I thought, here come the short jokes, early doors. I've only been back 2 minutes and I'm getting it. It's short for Ashley, multiple man.
But you don't like being called Ashley, do you?
To be fair, I don't mind. I think it's just Trev calls me Ash and that's how he introduced me and it's kind of just stuck now. So Ash or Ashley, I'll answer to both.
See, my little sister's called Ashley.
Does she get called Ash?
No, Ashley.
No, okay.
I call her Ash, but then I call my little brother Adam Ad.
Right, okay.
Oh,
And a few other things as well, I'm sure. My brother and sister call me many names that aren't related to Ashley. But anyway, that's a whole other topic.
It is. Ash, we are moments, we're 43 minutes away from Danny Rowe's first game in charge of Rangers. Are you excited?
Yes, I am. I genuinely am excited. I'm excited that the debacle of looking for a manager is over because I don't know about you, but that was exhausting. The emotional highs and lows of being so close and then having to wait. But listen, I think you've got to be. It's been such a difficult 3, 4 months for us. There's been not a lot to look forward to. And everything I've seen and heard about Danny Rule in terms of ex-players, coaches that work at some big European clubs at the moment talking highly of him. And for me, most importantly, the Sheffield Wednesday fans still love him. So I think you've got to be excited. And it's about time we looked forward to matches rather than kind of have to watch them through our hands.
Yes. It's actually crazy that we've went from appointing a manager who his previous club supporters says, what you doing? What I mean, like literally, what are you thinking? To then appoint a manager where the previous club's totally jealous and raging. Not raging, actually. The amount of Sheffield Wednesday fans who have got in touch and actually been pretty nice about it, but saying we've got an absolutely fantastic manager. So let's hope it turns out that way. But first, I think before we carry on, let's hear from him. I'm actually quite excited to hear the pre-match. It's ridiculous. It's like I'm a child again. And my boy's just turned 21 today. And I feel like a child again. So there we go. Right, okay, let's hear from the new Rangers manager with a fancy-looking microphone, Mr. Danny Rowe.
Danny, it's your first game in charge. How are you feeling ahead of this one tonight?
I'm really happy to be here today. I think when you are manager and you can start straight in European League with Rangers, I think it's fantastic. We will challenge today a good organized team. I think we have to understand how we want to play. It's about game management and of course we want to take points here.
Yeah, how have the past few days been for you with the players?
Yeah, it was fantastic. They were open-minded, good intensity, also a little bit freedom. I feel their smile. And I feel they really believe in what we are doing, and hopefully we bring a lot of things today on the pitch.
Yeah, what do you think we will see on the pitch today, or what do you want to see from them, given it's just been a few days, obviously, together?
Yeah, I think I want to see a group who's well organized to understand how we press and want to be pressed. I want to see a good intensity from our side in both directions, and I want to see a brave team who likes to attack the last line.
In terms of your team use tonight, there are a couple of changes. I know obviously you weren't in charge at the weekend there, but what was your thinking when choosing your team tonight?
Yeah, I think it's a mix from the first impression, the training session, also some impression from the last couple of weeks when I watched the videos. And of course, also the starting lineup is influenced from the opponent, which opportunity we have and which spaces we want to attack.
And just, I know you touched on it at the start, but in terms of SK Brann tonight, what challenge do you think they'll pose?
A well-organized team with a high intensity. I think there is also a reason why they could some good points. I think they play a good season so far. I think it will be a good atmosphere, and we want to bring our best game on the pitch today.
There we go. That is the new manager, Mr. Danny Role. Yeah, like I say, excited. Ash, before we get into the starting lineup, and we will discuss that, just quickly on tonight's game, what are you expecting from this Rangers team? Because he's only had a couple of days. You heard him there talking about, intensity and stuff like that, and how he wants to see his players react and stuff. But what can we realistically expect from this Rangers team tonight?
I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head. He's had not even a couple of days on the training pitch, really. It'd be a matter of hours that he's been there. So I don't really expect to see too much radically different in terms of kind of shape and kind of general tactics, I guess. What, I think will be really important and what I want to see is a change in mindset from the players, a change in kind of attitude, a change in work ethic, and intensity, which I know he used, but I think that's so important. I mean, the first half against United on Saturday, we showed that we have quality to hurt teams, and actually when we play on the front foot, we can cause problems. But in the second half, we just stopped doing the things in the first half that made us successful. We stood off players, we didn't press, we didn't close people down, and it was just a really lazy second half performance. So I do think that comes from the coach. I think you need to be on this squad of Rangers players. I think if you leave them to their own devices, they drop into second gear. So I don't expect, as I say, anything tactically radical, but I do expect the players to be more up for it. And also, I think, the likes of Asgard and Antman, I think, they're confidence players. And I think if Danny Rule seems like a very positive guy, if he gives them a little bit of confidence and license a bit of freedom, then, I think we can see the best of those guys, because we didn't see it under Russell Martin.
No, we really didn't. I don't know how this is going to work, Ash, but I know that you can see the bottom of the screen that we are on. We have been joined by another member of the Rabble. Again, I don't know how this is going to work, folks, but I am going to try. So let's welcome in, all the way from the SK Brann Stadion, Mr. Wilf Marshall. Wilf, good evening. Wilf can't hear us.
Martin, you joined me just as they announced the Rangers team. It's going a bit loud, so we want to give you a couple of minutes.
We'll leave you there for a couple of minutes, then, Wilf, and then we'll come back to you. Show me your face. Oh, wait a minute. Now he's showing me his face, Ash. Right, Wilf, can you hear us now? You just don't get this kind of service anywhere else. You really don't. You really don't.
Dedication.
He's just looking off you. He's just looking off you, bewildered, sitting there. Ash, let's go on to the start.
I was going to say, I thought he'd seen the price of the pints and the pies in Norway. Yeah. That's what had that confused look on his face, because I've heard some horror stories already.
Did you see that one of the guys had to get a taxi? It was like it was a 4 or 5 mile taxi, and it was 112 quid.
I mean, apparently getting a pint there for under a tenner is doing well. I mean, fair play to the fans that have went over there, because I can only imagine the cost of the flights and the hotel. But so let's hope the squad give them something to cheer about after that level of dedication and cost.
Exactly. Right now, let's see if we can bring Mr. Wilf Marshall back in.
Third time lucky.
Wilf, can you hear us?
Hello, Martin. Hi, Ash. How we doing? Yes, I can just about hear you.
How's it going?
It's all right. It's obviously, as you would have seen when I was showing you the stadium, the home end's filling up slowly. The Rangers end's almost full. It's like, I'll tell you something, it's the friendliest European away game I've ever been to. No hint to any trouble. Everybody wishing us good luck. These noggies certainly know how to do it properly.
What's your quick thoughts, Wilf, on the starting lineup for us?
I'm very, very surprised that Nasha Giga's at the back. And Sharmiti, this is the time for him to prove what he can do. I mean, Kevin Thelwell bigged him up. So let's just hope that Danny Rowe's got it right, because I'm very surprised Sharmiti starting up front.
Yeah, I think that guy behind you is even more surprised than you, Will. But yeah, I mean, I will let you go quickly because I know that obviously it's pretty difficult for you to hear us and stuff like that. That guy has got the biggest cheese on the world, hasn't he? But yeah.
You leave that guy alone. He gets me my tickets as I get on.
What's the well? If I have to ask you quickly before I let you go, what's the atmosphere like with the supporters? Are we all happy?
Rangers End's quite good. It's quite relaxed. Everybody knows we're on it's a sort of free hit for Danny Roll. Everybody's quite confident we won't lose. But yes, everybody seems quite confident. The Norwegians seem quite laid back. They don't seem to. They're not really football fans, in my opinion. They don't really seem to know a lot of what's going on. So yeah, the Rangers fans seem quite confident. So we'll see how it goes.
They're not really football fans, in my opinion. Well,
right, I'll leave you to it because this PA started music again. I can hardly hear you. So
thank you very much, Will, buddy.
Enjoy the game.
Cheers. Good to see you. Cheers. I'll see you later.
Cheers.
They're not really football fans. Honest to God, I love that man. I absolutely adore that man.
Legend. I'm also laughing. I hope nobody behind them pulled a sickie to go to Norway, because if they did, they're in a bit of trouble now.
That would be quite funny, wouldn't it? It was just the guy behind him.
Coldplay, but football version.
We are the football version of Coldplay. Right, the back line, Ash, Butland, Tav, Giga, Suter and Magoma. Obviously, Giga in there over Cornelius. I'm not going to argue with the new manager. He's just in the door. But that seems an awfully strange one to me.
It does. I think if you were going to bring Giga back in, I might have been tempted to put Cornelius out on the left, because I thought he did reasonably well there in the last European game. And I think Magoma's been caught out quite a few times. I think he's definitely a bit suspect defensively. So if you were going to make that change, that's probably what I would have done. However, in saying that, I felt that Cornelius was quite guilty of giving the ball away. Sometimes he can be a little bit lax on the ball. So I'm guessing that might be part of the thinking. But what an opportunity for Giga. Look, he's been out in the cold, started off, I think, quite strongly with us, and then really, really struggled. So big night for him. It'll just be an interesting dynamic that Suter's now going to go on the left, where, we've been saying all season he's much more comfortable on the right, even though I don't think we've really seen that in terms of his performance. So big call by the manager, but I can kind of understand it.
See, I can't understand it, Ash. I can't understand it. I would understand it if Suter was brought out, like you say, and Giga was put in. Because I just think Cornelius has been... I'm not saying he's been fantastic or he's been incredible. I just think he's been our best defender. But then, I suppose if you look at that, somebody asked me about squad rotation earlier on the day. We've got Kilmarnock on Sunday. Cornelius has played nearly every minute since he's come in. So I suppose if you're looking at it from that point of view, would you rather have Cornelius in the night or would you rather have him in on Sunday?
You would argue that tonight should take care of itself a bit better because, not to be rude to Brann, they don't have a huge European pedigree, although they are very, very good at home. And I think I've only been beat. I think they've won 5 of the last 7 European games they've played there. So they're a decent team. But no, you're right. Arguably Sunday is a bigger game for us than tonight. But I guess, Danny Rula, I don't think he'll be thinking like that. I think he'll be picking the team that he thinks will give him the best opportunity to get off to a good start. And you've got to remember, Giga's very experienced at European level. He's played a bit of Champions League. He's also played, in successful teams in, I think it was Belgrade. So, yeah, you can argue that he's got something about him. He's a young guy, but he started off well and kind of fell away. But here's hoping he can get that form back. So I understand the counter argument, but to me, it's not a massive, massive shock that Cornelius has dropped out of the team.
I'm going to skip the midfield right now, and I'm going to go straight to the striker position, Ash, because Yusuf Chermiti starts, and he started. Is that every European game he started? I think.
He started one
in the league phase.
One, yeah.
In the league phase, I think he started all the league phase games. What's the thinking there? Do you think Miovski out, Chermiti in?
I mean, it's really, really difficult to judge Miovski or Chermiti because neither one of them have had any sort of consistent level of service. Miovski's had more opportunity. He's played quite a lot of minutes, but I'd say we've not seen anywhere near the best of him. Not all of that is his fault, but I felt as though at times I'm not saying he looks unfit, but he looks like he's towing a caravan, and I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but I just don't think Miovski necessarily has done enough to be the out-and-out number one striker. I don't think we've seen enough of Chermiti. And after the big build-up that, as Wilf alluded to, that Chermiti's had in the press this week, then maybe it's a confidence boost for him to say, look, doesn't matter what's gone on before, fresh opportunity, fresh way of playing, go out and prove yourself. So to me, Chermiti or Miovski, neither one of them have set the heather alight, so I'm quite comfortable giving him the opportunity tonight.
Not even Danilo, not even in your thoughts, Ash?
Surprised he's on the bench, to be honest. I was quite shocked when I was like, oh, he's still here. No, that would have been a shock. And there might have been some questions about the new head coach's thinking, but no, I'm glad to see Chermiti or Minovsky up top.
I mean, it's given us another option on the bench, I suppose. I mean, I'll just read out the bench quickly, actually, because I haven't got it up on the screen. Kelly, Cornelius, Fernandez, Ash, back on the bench. Aarons, Rice, Barron, McCallion, Curtis, Moore, Cameron, Miovski, and Danilo. So it's not the strongest bench I've ever seen in my life, but it's also not the weakest.
No, and I think the likes of Barron and Mikey Moore had an impact when they came on last weekend. Both played quite a big role in obviously getting that equaliser. Barron with the ball over the top, and Moore picked out Tav, which was nice composure from a young guy. Finlay Curtis as well. Obviously, we know that he's capable. And you've also got the likes of Lyle Cameron, who we know can give you a little bit of industry and a little bit of quality and, in an attacking sense in the midfield. So, look, I'm not going to say it's the best bench we've ever seen, but there are some options there now. And obviously, Miovski is the immediate change for Chermiti if things aren't working out for him. So we should have more than enough tonight, I think, to get the result.
Did we look into Fernandez being back on the bench? Is that a bit of a positive for the boy? Because he's not been in the squad at all, Ash.
No, but what's interesting is if you listen to some of the noise coming out of the conferences the last couple of days, apparently he was injured, which I find a little bit suspicious that never came out in any of the previous conversations. And yet the minute Russell Martin's gone, he's back in the squad. So that's a bit of a strange one. I'd be surprised if he got on tonight just because you do have Cornelius on the bench and the likes of Aarons, etc. But it's good for him. It's good for the fans to see him back, and hopefully he'll have a fresh start as well, because he's had a really poor start in terms of opportunities to play.
I mean, as Paul's saying, he's been injured for 6 weeks. I never heard that at all. And I read up on every bit of news I can, obviously, because that's my job. But I never actually heard that he was injured. So maybe I've just completely missed that, and fair play to him.
To be honest, Martin, I think that only came out from these press conferences the last few days. I don't think it was communicated anywhere before, which is very, very strange. I don't quite understand that, but you just have to trust
would the club not disclose that? Is it a secret that somebody's injured?
Correct.
I really don't get it. In terms of Ant-Man and Gassama, before we touch on the middle three, I think that was always going to be the selection. Ash, for all that Ant-Man has not played that well, although he played a little bit better against Dundee United, he seems to be the Danny Role type player.
Absolutely, and I actually think those two on the flanks are fantastic options for us, and I think will be really important tonight. I mean, you touched on it there. I thought Ant-Man was very, very good Saturday. First half kind of faded away like the rest of the team in the second half, but showed you what he can do if he's given a little bit of freedom to get to the byline, to get the ball in the box. And I think the likes of Chermiti is physically well set up to be able to capitalise on that. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Gassama plays, because obviously he has that connection with Rule. And arguably he got the best out of him to the point where he's, a lot of guys down there think he's a multi-million-pound player, and that we got him on the cheap because of the rules, obviously. So, no, delighted with that. I think they'll play well, and I think there will be opportunities in and behind Brann tonight. I think they'll try and dominate the middle of the pitch. So if we can get balls out to the flank, I think the two of them can have a lot of success there, and hopefully get Chermiti a goal, which will, I think, make everyone a bit more comfortable with the situation.
Gassama's the big one for me, and I hope that a lot of the supporters don't go into it thinking, right, he's going to turn into prime Messi now that Danny Role's back in the picture, Ash. I'm excited to see what we can get out of him, because it's a manager that he trusts and a manager that he knows and a manager that brought him through and completely changed his game. But again, we shouldn't be getting into it thinking, right, well, this is going to be prime Messi on the park now.
No, and I mean, the very nature of wingers like that is that they're inconsistent. That is just, that's how wingers play. If you're a very, very consistent winger, you're playing at one of the top European clubs in one of the top 5 leagues. So Gassama is not the finished article. In the same way that tonight, to be honest, I'm not going to put too much stock into the overall performance, because it's very, very early doors. What happens tonight shouldn't dictate the optimism hopefully we have around Danny Rule. And I'm expecting to see a good performance. I'm expecting to see some slight tweaks. And I do think that Gassama, I mean, we know at a European level, this is my understanding, the first time he's played, this season, European football. And he's already been head and shoulders probably our best player in that competition. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can do.
What I will say is he obviously talked about bringing a previous Rangers player into his coaching team. It would appear that until he gets that player, I think he's going to use Stevie Smith. Stevie Smith I've seen in the training videos, Ash, but he's also out with the team over in Brann as well. So it would appear that he's probably lent a bit, I think, on Stevie Smith for this, not just the training, but the team selection tonight as well.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And, everyone assumes that he's going to go out and bring somebody into the club. But Stevie Smith made it quite clear in his presser before the Dundee United game that he has aspirations to work with the first team. So you just don't know. Asgard was very positive around Stevie Smith. I thought the first half showed that he'd taken a little bit of pressure off the players, whatever he told them. Going into that game, they played with a bit more freedom and a bit more intensity, etc. So would I be upset if Stevie Smith was the guy that got the nod? I'm not sure, because I'm not really sure what other outstanding candidates exist out there. But I'm glad he's had the opportunity to travel with the team. I think he deserves that after stepping in last weekend in a difficult circumstance.
Oh, listen, 100%. Yeah, you mentioned Asgard there. Let's talk about that midfield three: Raskin, Rothwell and Asgard. In Europe, away from home, is that a midfield three you're comfortable with?
I mean, no disrespect, but I think against this level of opposition, yes. I think I am quite comfortable with that. I think Asgard was really good first half on Saturday. Clearly had been given more of a free role than he had under Russell Martin. And I actually thought that Rothwell and Raskin dovetailed together quite well. Second half, it went a bit awry. I think they lost a little bit of energy, particularly Rothwell. But I thought he looked good. I thought he came up the park, won a few balls, created a few opportunities and had a bit more energy about him. So again, I think that midfield three is enough for us to be able to get a result tonight. And I'm excited to see what Asgard can do, because if he plays as well as he did the first half on Saturday, then we've got a decent player on our hands.
Does that say to you that Raskin's in the six tonight then? Raskin's the one who's going to sit back, because we've seen Rothwell try that role and it doesn't work for him, Ash. Whereas, like you say, most of the times when we've seen him play that kind of one level up, it seems to really, that seems to be his game. But that sitting back in that sixth position, trying to get the ball, turning weight, making a pass or trying to move, it doesn't work for Rothwell.
No, and I don't think he's got the legs to do it either. And again, that's not being rude. I just think you might only get 70 minutes out of him, whereas I think Raskin's got the energy and the engine to get around the pitch. So I'm more comfortable with him sitting a bit deeper, being able to dictate the play a little bit more, and then you're allowing Rothwell to come forward, try and win the ball, carry the ball and create a few opportunities. So I definitely think, for whatever reason, Martin decided to take those two players out of their best positions and switch them. Didn't work, or one of them wasn't on the pitch. Rothwell showed enough last season that he's a very good player and he can be a good player for us. You just got to play him in the right position to get the best out of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's David Hamilton over on Facebook saying it doesn't look as if Rolls picked this team. I mean, he absolutely has, but I think he's obviously, for the first game especially, he's took a little bit of advice from people within the club, David. There's no way that he couldn't. It's his first game and he's only been there 2 days. So there's no way that he hasn't took some sort of advice. In terms of how we approach this game then, Ash, and it was interesting, I think it was Stephen Robertson sorry. It definitely wasn't Stephen Robinson. Stephen Robertson on the Morning Rabble, who said that he wouldn't be surprised if Max Aarons started tonight instead of Tavernier. Well, obviously that's not happened. But do we expect to see the same Tav that we've seen against Dundee United? Because I can't remember the last time I seen Tav in the number 10 position so much.
No, and it's interesting. His position has really evolved as the season's gone on. When you think about the goal he scored at Livy, I mean, I can't really remember too many times this season where he's been allowed into the opposition penalty box where it wasn't a corner or whatever, in terms of trying to win the ball back. So, look, Tav, we know we're not going to have the debate about Tav. We know what he is and we know what he isn't. But he's our top scorer, I believe, at the moment still, which is incredible to see in the year 2025. But you know that he can offer you something going forward. We know that he's stronger moving forward than he is going back. So I think you nullify the threat if you force him to be defensive and you leave our defence exposed, because that's not his game. So I hope tonight he gets the opportunity to bomb forward. And interestingly, I think this position is now his to lose again. We've tried the Aiden's experiment, doesn't work. Sterling might give it a go when he comes back from injury. But for me, Tav probably is one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment.
And as Iron Blue, is saying perhaps he might go more direct tonight and thinks Chermiti is a better target man. He did say, look, it's not going to be pretty all the time, especially as he's getting to know the players and he's trying to find a system that suits them. Is that maybe one of the options, do you think, why Chermiti's been brought into the starting lineup tonight, just for that more direct kind of route?
Yeah, I think when you've got someone with the quality that Antman does in terms of, on the flank, putting balls into the box. I mean, he got a lot of assists last season in the Dutch league doing that exact thing. So why would you not use that as an opportunity? Gassama's somebody that can run, take people on, create opportunities for himself. Antman, to me, is more of an assist maker. Then I think Gassama will score more, but I think Antman has the potential to create more. So, why not mix it up and give you that option? You've also got Asgard as well and behind them that can cause problems. So we've actually got players there that give us a few options. We've just got to learn to play to their strengths, which is something that obviously Martin really struggled with.
Yeah, and again, just quickly looking at that bench, Kelly, Cornelius, Fernandez, Aarons, Rice, Barron, McCallie, and Curtis, Moore, Cameron, Majovski, and Danilo. In terms of real game changers, Ash, I mean, I don't think Barron's quite a game changer, but I think he's somebody who we will probably see later on in the game. Young Aidan McCallie, and I don't really see him getting on the park, to be honest. Finlay Curtis, Mikey Moore, kind of fighting for that same position, really. I would love Finlay Curtis to get some game time tonight, but Mikey Moore, a player who could probably improve under the likes of a Danny Rowe.
Yeah, and again, he came on against Livingston, I thought, and had an impact. And I certainly feel as though he had an impact against United on Saturday. So for me, Mikey Moore was put in a really difficult position where he was being asked to start games where he was bang out of form, and just a high pressure situation. That was poor management from my point of view. I think he should have been taken out of the firing line. So no, he's someone that I'm quite comfortable seeing come off the bench. Curtis Finlay has never let us down. Already shown that he's sorry. I do that all the time.
All the time.
It's like Chermiti or whatever it is, and Roman all over again. The young boy has, he's shown he's more than capable of playing European level. He's not fazed by that at all. He scored an important goal for us, obviously early on in the qualifiers. So yeah, I think having actually you could argue the wings are one of the strongest positions we've got in the squad at the moment, because there's 4 really good players fighting for those 2 spaces.
There really is. Right, Ash, that's us. We're done. Before we go, I don't like doing this, right? I think it's dead cheesy, but I'm going to do it anyway because I just because I'm worth it, right? Predictions, Ash. Prediction for tonight.
I'm going to go 2-0 with. I'm actually going to be quite specific with a Chermiti goal.
With a Chermiti goal. Oh, 2-0 with a Chermiti goal. I will just quickly answer Tambro. Yes, Leo Carmen is on the bench, and yes, it's somebody who I do expect to see on the park at some point tonight. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Cameron develops under Rowe as well. But that is a conversation for another day. Paul's saying 1-0 Gassama. Great Wall of Canada's going 1 each. That's only because Cornelius isn't playing. JP's went 3-1. What else we got? Snipers going 3-1 with Asgard. Gallant Pioneers 2-1 Rangers. I mean, Graham Brown's just right in there with the 4-1 Rangers. Fair play to you, Graham.
What a difference, though, Martin. When you think about the last European game, there was hardly anybody that predicted a win, so it's nice to have a bit of positivity back.
It very much is. I mean, Gallant's going with prediction of the season. 0-0 Chermiti brace.
It's like a tenner on that.
That's where we're going. And Trying Scotsman, you're banned. You've got a 2-day ban for me bringing up your comments. But the Trying Scotsman's went 3-1. I'll bring it up anyway. 3-1 for the famous. Stephen Gillespie's went 2-0 with Chermiti. And finally, the last one I will pick out. Do we have anything different to what's been said? We'll go with 3-2 Sadiq hat-trick. 3-2 Sadiq hat-trick. There we go. We'll finish off with that one. Ash, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy the game, folks.
Yes, enjoy the game. Everybody, in 10 minutes' time, if you are a channel member, you can jump over and join Hightower for a full match watch along. If you're not a channel member and you want to be and you want to help support the show and you want to watch the watch along, it's live on both the YouTube memberships and the Patreon memberships, the links for which are both in the description. And before you leave, please do give us a like and subscribe, and make sure that you share the pod as well. So go and enjoy the game. Like I say, Hightower will be live with your watch along, and then we'll be live at 8 p.m. tonight for full match reaction. Ash, thank you. Everybody watching, thank you. And we'll speak very, very soon.